Hello everyone, ShaktiShivaTarot here. I started the video with a picture of 3 different decks with 3 different stones on them. The first deck is the Wild Kuan Yin Oracle, and that is by Alana Fairchild, and it had the blue lace agate or agate, however you want to say it, on top of it. So if you were drawn to either the deck or that stone, you would be group number 1. The second deck I'm using is the Rumi Oracle deck, also by Alana Fairchild. And this stone is I believe, just a regular white agate, and it's the little mushroom. So that was on the stone. So whether you were drawn to that deck or the crystal, you'll be group 2 if you liked the mushroom crystal and the Rumi deck. And our last deck is the Atlantis Oracle, and that is by Maria Elita. And the stone that was on that one was a Mukite jasper skull head. So very powerful stone. Whichever one you were drawn to in the very beginning is the one that I recommend you listen to. You may have been drawn to more than one, but go with your first gut and then work your way backwards if maybe you feel like you didn't receive the message in the first one. Or maybe you're drawn to more than one, just like the same equally, and you want to read both messages also. So, I already opened up with my prayer, and I have asked for the masters, teachers, and loved ones to be present and bring down the light, so everything is nicely protected. I'm going to do just an overall read. This is just your daily read for today, giving you the guidance that you need for today. So whichever deck that you chose is going to have that message for you. Each deck has its own energy. And what I will end up doing, because some of these, like the Alana Fairchild and the Atlantis, they tend to have really long descriptions, and I know that the Alana Fairchild also has a meditation or like a healing practice that you can also utilize. So what I will do is I will take pictures of the actual book, and I will post the pictures at the end of each section of the video, so that way you can see. I will put timestamps on each card when I'm starting each group. That way you can just go directly to the group that you are feeling drawn toward. You don't have to watch the whole video and try and guess as to where it's going to be in the video. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, group number 1. You chose the blue lace agate or the wild Kuan Yin Oracle deck. And I have pre-shuffled them, but I will give them a nice little shuffle now and see if any of them pop out. See which ones pop out. Hopefully, let's just do one. We're going to ask for one because they're really long. So there it is. Give me a moment just to pick up on the energies of the card, bringing down any messages that Spirit is trying to convey. Ooh, this is a very powerful card. It says Ancestral Guardians of Light. And I definitely feel like there is some ancestral alignment happening right now for you specifically, for group 1, whoever chose this first card. It's a ancestral alignment. Ancestral karma is either pulling at you or you're healing through it, or both. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that probably means that your ancestors are trying to get your attention. And I would recommend calling upon your ancestors and just say, hey, ancestors, I hear your call. I'm thankful. Thank them every morning. Thank them for being there for you, because they're working behind the scenes for you, whether you know it or not, whether you believe it or not. You have an ancestral guardian or guardians, or group of guardians, or group of celestial beings that are working in your favor, making sure that you're making the right choices, making sure that you're following your soul, your gut, your intuition. I feel with this card a lot that for those of you who are actually going through the healing and feeling it and clearing out your ancestral karma, that it's like you are this little girl or boy, this child, and it's about healing the inner child, right? We have the two guardians, the two ancestors watching over. It's like they're looking over their back, making sure that the little one is protected. And so your guardian angels and your ancestors and your guardian spirits are letting you know, hey, we have your back. So whatever, because this little girl seems a little sad. If you see her face, she kind of just seems a little sad. And so I'm picking up that maybe there's a need for you to really look at your inner child. Invite it to come and play with you. Speak to it. We have a need to feed our inner child and heal that inner child. And if you, once again, don't know what I'm talking about, then more so even for you, that need to really connect, and in a very playful way, right? Like this is your inner child. Ask it to play. Ask it what it wants. Maybe it wants a Pop-Tart, and you haven't given it a Pop-Tart in years because you're like, oh no, I could never eat a Pop-Tart. I haven't eaten that since I was a child. They're so disgusting, whatever. But your inner child is craving this Pop-Tart, and you just taking that step and listening to your inner child and feeding your inner child that Pop-Tart, your inner child is going to be happy, and you're going to create this connection with your inner child that now your inner child is going to begin to recognize that you've recognized it, and that you have a connection, and that you can speak now, and that you can bring clarity and love into this little inner child that we've been ignoring for so long. I think we forget as we get older to really stay connected to our inner child, because we get boggled down with work and life and situations. And this is an opportunity for you to heal your ancestral karma by really connecting with your inner child. That's what I feel hardcore from this. And just know that if you're feeling like you're alone, like this little girl, may not really understand the depth of what her guardians are doing for her, right? So just trust. It's about trusting that your guardians have your back. I would suggest calling upon them daily, thanking them for their guidance and their love, because they are there guiding you, whether you believe it or not. All right, that's what I received for group number 1. I will post the pictures of the description, so that way you can go into a little bit more depth of about what this card really means. This was just my interpretation. I have never seen this card. I have never opened it up. This card has never come out for me, so I don't even know what it says, but I am just relaying the message from spirit, from your masters, from your teachers, from your loved ones as to what they said this card meant for you today. And I hope that it resonated with you. And I hope that you actually do stick around and choose to do the meditation that comes with that description, because it will really help you heal whatever ancestral karmas you have there lingering, possibly maybe not even knowing that it's there. So thank you for watching. If you liked another card, then just go ahead and wait for the next one. Or if this is it, then this is it. See you next time. Hello, group 2. This is the crystal that you chose, the mushroom white agate, and this is the deck that you chose, Rumi Oracle by Alana Fairchild. And I have already pre-shuffled. Wow, that did. But this one wanted to come right out, so let's just go ahead and get into that. And these cards are very beautiful. Just give me a minute to tap into the message from Spirit here. Okay. It says blessings blessings of Al Hakim. Number 40. 4 is the number of stability, the elements, there are 4 directions. 4 is a very solid, stable number, but also in the Native American world, because it was, we have the 4 elements, we have the 4 directions, we have the 4 seasons. It's a very magical number that is connected to nature. And so a very magical number for them is the 44, the 4 doubled. It's like super stable, super spiritual, supernatural number. I'm going to look into this a little deeper, because I myself don't really know exactly what this card means, but I just kind of want to go over what I'm feeling from what I'm seeing in the card and what I'm receiving from Spirit. I feel like group number 2, I feel like you are either going through some sort of dark night of the soul or coming out of it. It's like in the past you were this darker, more creative. The black is like the womb of the mother, creation. It's not a negative color. It means that we can create whatever we want from that void, right? From that darkness. This is where we have the opportunity to see our own inner light and paint our true reality. So it's like, I feel like that's what you're doing, right? Or you're in the process of doing, or you're about to do. You're painting your darkness and bringing some color into your life. And it's all splattered because you're really just in that flow of figuring yourself out, of figuring what it is that you like. So you're trying out all these different colors, you're trying out all these different techniques, these different strokes, just trying to brighten up your darkness, your shadows, trying to bring them to the light. If you look really closely, there's this, like, I feel like it's almost like an inner body. It could be the inner child. It could be the inner self, the innermost self. And it's like this, all of this is happening because it's being guided by the inner self. So whatever you've been going through, whatever has been going on for you in the past or presently happening for you, you are on your way to creating a brighter, more colorful life for yourself and for those around you, right? Because it's not just you, it's like all around you. You know, you've got the moon back here. It's like there's this body of water, there's this depth to you, but you're wanting to come out of that isolation, that dark night of the soul. You know, maybe you went through this deep inner dive, and you're in order to find out, like I said, how you want to paint your reality, recognizing that I want more color, I want more light in my life. And so you started to paint your own reality, and that's what this colors are all about. And it's like your outer world is, or your inner world is reflecting your outer world, right? So there's that reflection of all the color that you're painting up here in your inner world, and it's reflecting to your outer world. So very, very beautiful card. Yeah, you know, colorful, all your chakras. It's like little by little, we are clearing and opening up, and you are rising above this darker time, this time of introspection, of isolation. I feel like you're finally coming out of something like that. So hopefully you resonated with that, group 2. I'm going to go ahead and post up the pictures of the description so that you can read more in depth what this card is exactly about and what the message is for you. And then also you have an opportunity to do the meditation that's at the end. It'll bring a little bit more healing into your now situation. I really hope you choose to do that. Thanks for watching. And if you liked another card, please stick around. If you're out for the day, then have a wonderful day and see you next time. All right, group 3, this is your deck, the Atlantis Oracle, and you chose the the Mukite Jasper skull, very powerful stone. I've pre-shuffled these, but we're going to go ahead and give it another shuffle while I ask the Divine Creator and Spirit to bring us a message. Interesting. Okay, let me take a moment to receive the messages from the card. Okay. This is the Shadow card. Number 36. 3 and 6 equals 9. 9 is a number of completion and endings, but also spiritual awakening. That's kind of what I feel like there's a little bit of combo, and I'll get into that. And then on the bottom it says, spark the dark. So what I feel like is going on for you here, group 3, is obviously there's some shadow work going on right now. I feel like you either are doing shadow work, you're coming out of doing shadow work, you're about to go into doing some shadow work. It could be either or. But there's this sense of you lifting off the mask. You're finally like looking behind the mask. You're finally getting comfortable with taking the mask off and looking at yourself in the mirror and actually liking what you see, even if you see some shadows. It's like, I feel like you finally learn how to befriend your shadows, or at least just recognize them, right? Because sometimes we're just so in our heads that we don't even recognize that we have shadows, and we're projecting them onto people. And unless somebody calls you out, you don't really know that that's happening. And so I feel like what's going on is that you're recognizing that you have shadows. You're wanting to work with them and befriend them so that way we can take the mask. And I feel like for some of you, it's happening. Like you're taking the mask off. It's happening. It happened, or it's about to happen. The mask is coming off. You're finally able to look behind the shadows and actually see the true self, which is a beautiful thing, because we should be able to look at ourselves in the mirror and not look away in disgust. And if you are looking away in disgust, look back at yourself and ask yourself, why am I looking away in disgust? What is it about this face or these eyes that makes me feel like I need to look away? There may be some darkness inside that you're trying to avoid. I challenge you to look inside that darkness and see the beauty in it. Invite it to be a part of who you are, and offer it an offer of love, because that's really what our shadows are. That's why they wreak havoc, right? Because they're trying to get our attention. Our shadows are like, look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm being reckless. I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And I just want attention. I want you to recognize me. I want you to notice me. I want you to love me. And then once you do that, then they become your allies, right? And then they become something that now you can control instead of them controlling you. And so I feel like right now you've either gone through a situation or something has happened in your life that you're like an ending, or an ending of old ways of being in your shadows, of projecting your shadows, and you're allowing, it's like you're finally allowing the mask to come off, and you're recognizing that you're projecting these shadows, that you are in your shadows. And so you're trying to really see who you are underneath that. And maybe you haven't found yourself completely, and who has, right? We can do work for years, our entire lives, and still not feel like we've found ourselves. So it's nothing that like you don't need to be in this like hurry to like know who you are. It's a slow process. It's going to take time, and just be patient with yourself and love yourself. That's the biggest thing, is that these shadows, like I said, are just looking to be appreciated, looking to be loved. They want your acceptance. And once they feel accepted and they feel loved, then they're not going to cause so much havoc on your life, and that actually become your power. So yeah, beautiful card. I feel like there's a lot of you that are going through that ending right now, or about to go through it, or have just come out of it. And so kudos to you, like shadow work is no joke. It's a very, very hard process, and it takes a lot of strength within you to be able to look at yourself and look at all your flaws and look at all the things that you don't like about yourself and say, hey, you know what? I don't like that. I'm going to change it. I'm going to stop being this way, because I really don't like it when this person does to me, or when other people do this to me. So I've recognized by being in my shadows, by working with my shadows, I've recognized that I do this to other people too, and I don't want to be that person. I'm going to make a change. And this is where you start to take the mask off. And this is when you start getting closer to who you are. And this is when you start to be a little bit more happy and free in knowing who you are without the mask. Beautiful card. I will post the pictures of the deeper description for you for this card so that you can, get the full description and get all the information needed for this card. But I definitely feel like you all are in a really amazing process, and just keep going, be patient with yourselves and show yourselves love. The one thing that I can say is, for those of you who are feeling, maybe rejected or betrayed or abandoned, or feeling any kind of negative feelings from maybe something that has happened in your life, everything happens for a reason. Try and find the good in the bad, right? There's always, on a soul level, all we want to do is love each other. So if we come to that higher perspective of recognizing that soul that may have hurt you really did it because they love you, and they provided, they even on a soul level, as much as it hurts them because all they want to do is love you, they volunteered to be that lesson for you. So think about the amount of love that is needed in order to say, hey, you know what, even though I really love this person, I'm going to hurt this person because they need that lesson in order to grow. That takes a lot of love. And so when you can see that it's all for a good reason because it made you a stronger person, then you can learn to forgive and recognize that it was something in your decision, in your choice that happened that made and created that situation, because you also volunteered to have that experience so that you could learn, so that you could grow and evolve as a human. That's what the soul wants is experiences, so that we can learn how to evolve, so that we don't have to come back, right? We can evolve and we can go home and we're good, and we don't have to come back to earth and do this whole dance again. So that's what the shadow work is for. It's so that we can let go of that baggage, begin to love ourselves, so that we can love each other without that need of codependency, without that need of attachment, right? Like free love. Love your shadows. Love your shadows, and your shadows will love you back. That's the message from Spirit. I will go ahead and post the pictures. Thank you so much for listening. Please, if you like what you hear, like this video, share it, subscribe, comment below. Let me know if you resonated. Let me know if I hit the nail on the donkey. I don't know, whatever. But I want some feedback. This is a free space, so just please tell me how you feel. Tell me how you like it. Give me some suggestions, what kind of readings you would like. I'm still new to this and just trying to get it started. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, share, subscribe, and have a wonderful day. Namaste.